90% of Floridians get their drinking water from aquifers within Florida. So although, it is vast, it is not unlimited.
April is Water Conservation Month in Florida.
We have quite a few water bodies within our district that are showing either we have identified problems today or we have identified that there will be problems in the future.
Joy Koch-John and Gretchen Smith with the St. Johns River Water Management District joining the Friday Free-for-All to provide an update on the overall health of the region's water supply.
We are not running out of water. We're surrounded by oceans. Florida will never run out of water. But if we're talking about groundwater, which is often less expensive to treat or is less expensive to treat than ocean water, we have to think in that mind that we want to conserve this resource and be able to use it as long as possible.
Smith explains the district's role.
One thing that the Water Management District does is that we work with utilities like the City of Palm Coast, whether they're county or municipal or private utilities, on consumptive use permits. And so we work with them and they get certain allocations of how much water they can use. And you probably know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's basically, again, it's a balancing act. We make sure that, or we ensure that their demand does not cause harm. And using that tool, the consumptive use permit, we can make sure that we regulate demand in a sustainable fashion.
Koch-John was asked whether Palm Coast has enough drinking water.
I would say yes. I think that they've implemented some water supply projects. I think they have implemented water conservation initiatives. I think Palm Coast is doing a great job in terms of protecting our water resources and ensuring its sustainable use.
I'm Daryl Moody reporting.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Monday, April 7th. A 16-year-old Matanzas High School student is arrested after punching a school resource deputy who was trying to break up a fight. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Deputy Landy attempted to break up a fight between two students, and this student decided to join the melee and strike Deputy Landy. He was subdued and arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, which is a felony. He was taken to the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility for processing and turned over to the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. This student was already pending felony charges of burglary, theft, and possession of a firearm by a minor. Parents, be the sheriff in your home. Teach your kids right from wrong, how to handle disputes, and remind them and teach them that if you attack a deputy sheriff, you will go to jail every time.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. This week, we're spotlighting the 10 candidates vying for the Palm Coast City Council District 3 seat, which was vacated by Ray Stevens due to health issues. They were each interviewed at last week's City Council workshop.
City issues were the main focus of the lengthy workshop interviews, giving each candidate the opportunity to further explain the tangible contributions each one will bring to the council seat. The first candidate being reviewed is Mark Burton, who lives in Palm Coast.
I know that there are requirements of how much we can do for a bond issue by our city charter. I would think that would be something that the city council would want to talk about or think about in the future to expand that ability. Because when we're doing things like spending $500 million to expand water treatment facilities, that's a huge amount of money to spend. And one of the easiest ways to do it is with bonding. And if we're limited to only doing it the other way, it means that our tax base has to go up, and we can only tax so much with the property taxes that people pay here.
Burton adds he's in favor of judicious growth and for funding along the way. Meanwhile, Doug Courtney is also a candidate and is also a lifelong resident of Flagler County.
I have a lot of background in social services that I work with. I have a lot of background in working with various organizations. I do a lot of volunteering from the Women's Domestic Abuse Center all the way up to trying to keep a pool open when we have to. So I've been to a lot of city council meetings. I've been to a lot of county commission meetings. I've been to a lot of school board meetings. I've been to city meetings in Flagler Beach, Palm Coast, Beverly Beach, of which I was also the town clerk there, and I served at Marineland as well. So I've been all over this county and know quite a number of people. My background as a doctorate is information systems technology. It has a management in that.
Tomorrow will feature 2 more candidates for the position of the Palm Coast City Council District 3 seat. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
In other news, Flagler County and the City of Palm Coast will host a public workshop at 1 o'clock this afternoon at the Government Services Building to discuss the potential development of a large-scale sports complex. The proposed facility planned for the northwest section of Palm Coast could feature indoor and outdoor sports venues, dining and retail options, sports medicine services, and the capacity to host major tournaments and training programs. One of the main goals of the meeting is to gather community input that will help guide the initial planning of a facility aimed at supporting athletes of all ages and enhancing sports tourism in the area. The meeting will be aired live on the Flagler Radio YouTube channel and the WNZF Facebook page for those who cannot attend in person. If you miss it live, the full recording will also be archived and available to watch later on both platforms. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Licio with your WNZF local sports update.
Last week, the Daytona Beach News Journal announced Player of the Year nominees in winter sports, and Flagler County was well represented. For basketball, Pirate Alex Davis and Bulldog Anthony Hampton. Boys soccer has 5 candidates: Kai Bonner from Matanzas. For FPC, Rami Amiri, Jack Moberly, Jay Secca, and Tegan Paulo. Paulo on his team.
We have warriors all over the field. I can't even call them teammates anymore.
On the ladies' side, junior Eva Seitz and sophomore Ivy Chen for FPC. Chen on how injuries to the team last season accelerated their growth.
I think it definitely helped playing together last year. This year we come together easier. We know how to play with each other already.
The lone weightlifter is Bulldog Nia Williams.
One thing that's driven me most is seeing my team do really well and wanting to be an inspiration to them.
5 boys wrestlers were nominated: Carson Barrett, Malik Joseph, Kevin McLean, and Trey Twilley for FPC, Mason Obama for Matanzas. Girls wrestling nearly swept the nominations. 7 Bulldogs, including Nina Borgman and Kendall Bilba, who each won state titles. Runners-up Mariah Mills, Anna Villar, and Jocelyn Johnson, plus Alexa Caledonio and Tiana Fries. 2 Pirates joined them to take 9 of the 12 spots: Ani Brown and Cardi Michelle. Nina Borgman on winning her 2nd state title as a senior.
It's just exciting, it's a great opportunity in my last one. It's good to go out with a bang.
Saturday, the FHSAA announced competitors for the 2025 Boys Weightlifting Championship. 7 Bulldogs will join Jaden Sow from Matanzas. The Pirate softball team went 4-0 to take the Kissimmee Classic this weekend. They're now 15-1 on the season. Friday night, FPC Girls Lacrosse beat St. Joseph Academy 17-7 in St. Augustine. This is your home for local sports, with updates Mondays and Fridays. From the WNZF Sports Desk, I'm Mike Licio.